Picture it, Los Angeles, 2025.
Welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines.
I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we're doing another Beyond Golden Girls episode where we cover the many film and TV projects that the women did outside of the Golden Girls during the course of their illustrious careers. And because
Wait, before you say what we're doing,
sure.
Can I just do the thing, because it's just gonna make people go real crazy.
Sure.
Okay. Well, so just say it, but don't say the show we're gonna watch.
Okay.
Do a little bit of what you're gonna do.
Okay. And because we are nearing the end of 2025, today we are breaking down another episode of
Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She didn't care.
I love that.
I mean, you have to with a theme song like that. Can you
great theme song?
Bea Arthur, to have a show that has an iconic theme song is legendary in and of itself. But to have two shows that have, I would argue, probably one of the top 50 theme songs of all time, like Maude and Golden Girls, that's crazy.
Yeah, of course. That's a once in a lifetime experience to have.
Yeah. I mean, let alone to have two hit shows, but yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, it was Bea Arthur. Bea Arthur brought the magic.
And on this episode, I think, dare I say, we see more physically of Bea Arthur than I think we have ever seen of Bea Arthur in the history of Bea Arthur.
Yes, the thing I loved about this episode, which, by the way, this episode of Maude is called Nostalgia Party. It takes place on New Year's Eve. It, of course, stars Bea Arthur, Rue McClanahan, and I want to thank Out on the Lanai fan Bastian from Germany for recommending this episode.
Wie geht's dir? That's how are you?
Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? The only German I know is 99 Red Balloons.
Wow, I know.
It comes in handy at drunk karaoke.
I understand. My father was German and my grandfather, and so they all spoke German. So I understand German, and I of course studied in Germany too. I understand German a lot better than I speak it anymore, because I'm not speaking it on a regular basis. But I could, if I encountered a German, I could probably have a conversation in a very rough way.
Yeah, in a very hello. The
weather
it would be
today
is
no. It would be more than that. I would be able to have a full conversation, but it would be like a lot of me starting sentences and then being like, "Oh, what's the word for?" Like, it would be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of como se dice.
Yes, exactly.
Como se dice? Except whatever. How do you say it in Germany? In German. To go back to your point, this episode of Maude, and Bastian did not tell us about this. He just said there's a New Year's Eve episode, and I was like, got it. That's what we're going to do for the end of the year.
I wonder if Maude is big was big overseas, because Maude is so specific, I would argue, to the United States because of the issues it tackles, because of politics, because of the era it came out in, that I'm surprised that our lovely German listener was the one who recommended Maude. I love
Bastian,
that.
let us know how big Maude is. To your point, though, we get in this episode, like you said, we get Bea Arthur in revealing clothing. We get giddy Bea Arthur, I'm so crazy about this guy. Giddy Bea Arthur jumping up and down for Burt Reynolds. We get on another level.
Also, I love, based on my experience and the time that I've spent in my lifetime in the country of Germany, but particularly Hamburg and Berlin, the fact that we see more skin in this episode's kind of naughty, in the sense of Bea Arthur, is very fitting that a German suggested this, because Germans understand naughty like nobody else in the world.
I mean,
and I love them for it. Rue McClanahan's
costume alone.
She even says, she even infers, I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to, but she even infers that someone should take advantage of her as this costume she's in. in a very inappropriate way, but I was shocked that it was allowed on television in the 1970s.
Yeah, same. I was like, "Oh, that's okay."
I know. I was like, I
Ooh,
mean, yes,
okay.
it was odd. It was odd. It was
It was
odd.
a little odd. The other
Yeah.
thing I love about this episode, I love what they call a bottle episode
Mm-hmm.
of a
Mm-hmm.
sitcom. It's very cheaply shot. It all takes place in one location. You don't have any
One
swing sets.
room. Yep.
This entire episode mostly takes place in the living room. Some of it takes place in the kitchen, but it
Yeah.
all just takes place at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's pretty
those
much
to
all the
me,
characters from the show, like every guest character,
yeah.
everyone is in one room because it's a party. Yeah.
Yep. I always love episodes like this because they're very character driven. They usually have a
Mm-hmm.
very, very simple plot, as does this
Mm-hmm.
episode. This episode is literally Bea Arthur wants to throw a good New Year's Eve party and she wants everyone to have a good time. That is the plot of this episode.
That's it.
And
That's
it's
literally
great.
it.
It's so great. That's literally it.
I mean, there is a little bit, what I find really fascinating is there is a little bit of like revisionist history, people being like, oh, this year was the best year, or this year was the best year. And to hear a 1975 audience or character reminisce about like the 1950s is interesting.
You know how interesting it is? So what's funny is, we're pre-recording a bunch of episodes because I'm going to be going on maternity leave. So
Oh,
I am still
yeah.
pregnant while we're recording. Hopefully by the time this airs, I will have a baby. But as soon as you
Wow.
started talking about that, the little Oreo number 2 or whatever we're going to call her, she's like having a dance party in my stomach right now. As soon as you started talking, she just like started moving around a bunch. So what you're
Wait,
saying,
what if
she
she
is
hears
here
my
for it.
voice and she wants to dance? Like, what if we're conditioning her for that?
Maybe. It's
Yeah.
entirely possible. It is entirely possible.
Yeah.
So yeah. Happy almost New Year, everybody. We are recording this in November, but it's great.
Happy New Year. Yeah, literally, it is right after Thanksgiving when we're recording this. So
Yep.
a lot could happen in the world between now and then. And if we missed anything, sorry.
If we miss anything, sorry. This is the caveat. So, one little bit of housekeeping is what's going on over in the GG VIP Club at Patreon this week for the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. We're just kind of doing like a look back on 2025, our
Yeah.
hopes and dreams for 2026. We'll talk
Mhm.
about the Golden Girls in some way, but
Mhm.
very fun, light Rusty Anchor Happy Hour for tonight. And of course, you can
Yeah.
check it out at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast. That is what's going on this week.
I mean, just to give a little preview of the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour for all listeners, do you do you put a lot of pressure on yourself to have a new, I mean, not this year because you're going to be like with a newborn and stuff. So clearly you're not going out and taking your top off, but like maybe to feed someone, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But what do you put pressure on yourself around New Year's?
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
I used to put a lot of pressure on being somewhere or like doing something or being in a specific spot with specific people that mattered to me in the past year that I wanted to carry over into the new year, all that shit. And years past, I'm just kind of like, I can't. Cause like the older I get, which is crazy, only 28, but the older I get, the more I realize that like we're really just on a slow march towards death. So like New Year's is just another day. You know what I mean? Not to be not to be glass half empty, but like
You like
whenever I
broke the
think
glass right there. You just
I
completely
did.
shattered it.
I mean, but like I'm kind of like it just doesn't, like to me I could have a really special Tuesday and it could matter more to me than like New Year's. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I do. I think in the past, in my 20s, I
My
certainly
20s, I
like
carried on,
I would go to
and I'd be
when I lived in New
depressed.
York. When I lived in New York in my 20s, I would go to parties. I would always
Mhm.
be so tired by the time midnight rolled around. I would want to
Yeah.
immediately leave afterwards.
So you weren't horny.
What's that?
You weren't horny.
No, I just wanted to go home and go to bed.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember going out like with like whoever my boyfriend was at the time. I remember there was one really fun New Year's Eve when I lived in Brooklyn where me, my boyfriend, and a bunch of my girlfriends who they were we had a supper club. We were like the Golden Girls, but in our 20s. We all went to Prospect Park, which is near where I lived in
Mm.
Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and watched fireworks, and it was like
What year was
really, really
that?
cold outside. It was probably like 2012, maybe 2013.
Oh, I wasn't there then. No. Yeah.
And that one was a really special one just because like my girlfriends were there too. And I think maybe even the year after that, there was one New Year's Eve where I just spent with my girlfriends. We got dressed up, but we like didn't leave my friend's apartment. It was so great. And we just like drank and listened to music. Those ones were special to me. Anytime, like I will put in the effort if I'm going somewhere comfortable with a group of people who I feel very comfortable with, who I love, and who like every single person in that room I could talk to and have a good time and not ever feel like, oh, when can I end this conversation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm going to put in an effort, it's got to be with friends who are just easy and we just, and it's just easy, you know?
I remember my most memorable, the only New Year's that I can actually remember that comes to mind that I remember in general New York New Year's, going over the city, avoiding Times Square, all of the things, you know what I mean? Like I remember that experience, but I think my most memorable New Year's was right after September 11. My family and I decided to take a vacation to Las Vegas. So this would have been what, 2000 and one, no, going into 2002.
Going into 2002.
2001, yeah. And I forget how old I was. I was, I was a baby because I'm only 28. And so I remember I was like, we were trying to arrange where we were going to be. And it was a weird logistical thing because New Year's that year, because of security and all the things, like they had snipers on the top of buildings. And it was like they were very secure in Vegas, I remember. But the only thing I remember is it was like our vacation, our first sort of vacation when all of my siblings were adults. You know what I mean? Like I was off at college and like whatever. And or whatever. And
but you mean preschool because you're only 28.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yes. And I remember, as the child that I was, walking through the casino and I was smoking a cigarette and my mom caught me smoking a cigarette. And it was the first time my mom had ever seen me smoke or caught me smoking. And she was not pleased. And I miss smoking every day since then, since I quit every single day of my life. It's the coolest thing I've ever done. Don't smoke, kids, but it's the coolest thing I ever done.
I'm not going to lie. Anytime like Stan and I will be watching a movie in the 80s or even like maybe like the early 90s or something where like smoking was so, it was so much more common on TV. And we're always just like, people look so cool. Again, I do not condone smoking.
Don't smoke. Do not smoke.
Do not smoke.
But it's the coolest thing I ever did.
But
I will never be cooler.
Cool.
I will never be cooler than when I smoked.
We need to find something that looks cool.
There is nothing.
But isn't harmful for your body.
There is nothing. There is nothing. Vaping, none of it is cooler than a cigarette in a mouth. I mean, literally, it is so cool. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Should we get into this episode?
Yeah, we've been all over the place. Enjoy, everybody. Yeah, let's come back and talk about Maude's nostalgia party. Happy New Year. Picture it. New Year's Eve, 1974. Maude,
where were you?
Where was I?
Is it 74 or 75?
It's 1974 going into 1975, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not 1975 yet. So Maude is throwing a New Year's Eve party. She's invited all of her friends and family. The only person who is excited about this party is Maude.
Yeah. She is eager.
She is so excited. She's got the house all decorated. Everyone around her is in a bad mood. So, and I love all the reasons that everybody's in a really bad mood. And it's just funny because also as much as she's really trying to keep the energy up, everyone around her is bitching. And she's still like, no, like this, we're going to make this a great party. So
I have to admit, I can fully relate to everyone around Maude because that's Michael and I in most situations, just being like, do we have to?
Well, especially the people that she forced her to help set up, like Mrs. Naugatuck, she forced her to help set up, and Mrs. Naugatuck is upset because she was supposed to have a date with a bus driver, but instead she's
what I don't remember,
helping Maude.
We need to watch more Maude because Maude it's so good. But Miss she had a different is her house lady that she has help, right? Mrs. Magatar. I don't remember the names of anybody, but of the other characters other than like Rue and stuff. But Mrs. Magatar is the maid, right?
I think Mrs. Naugatuck from I believe she's like the housekeeper or something that
And
she
they had multiple. I mean, forgive listeners, I don't know Maude the way I
forgive
should
us,
know
we jump
Maude, but
around with these episodes.
yeah, so like we're not in order, but I feel like she had another maid as well, like another person who also went on to, of course, iconic stuff. So like I feel like there were a few characters who played her
She had
like
another
house assistants.
Marguerite.
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes.
exactly. Yeah.
So, Vivian, aka Rue McClanahan, she's upset because she decided to make a cake for Maud's party, and in doing so,
Mhm.
screwed up her microwave oven. And I love that Vivian was
Yeah.
making a cake in her microwave oven.
I
Respect,
mean,
respect
honestly,
for just like I'm gonna put this together so fast.
people do that though. I mean, I do it in my air fryer, and the woman I just
Oh,
want
I
to say
love
the
cooking in
other
my air
person who
fryer.
played, I don't know if she played, I don't know who the character she played, but Esther Roll, incredible actress Esther Roll, who you listeners probably know. She wasn't in this episode, but like she was in a bunch of other episodes. But you know her from Good Times primarily, which is
Hmm.
iconic, but also Driving Miss Daisy and a few other shows. So yeah.
Well, also the actor who played Mrs. Naugatuck, like I know her from like Mary Poppins. Like she was also a
Oh,
really
that's
big like
right.
English actor. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
So yeah.
Arthur is in a bad mood because he blew a tire on the freeway and then was robbed. And on top of
I
that,
mean,
he
Arthur
hates
can't
New
catch a
Year's Eve
break.
parties because everyone gets drunk and always asks him for free medical advice, which is
Which I
so funny to me. And that's what I would do if I
yeah.
were drinking.
Oh
And
my god. The second not even I don't even need to be drinking. If I meet a doctor, I'm gonna talk to you about my ailments.
I'm not gonna lie, when little Oreo was in preschool, it was a co-op, so the parents would work shifts, and I would work shifts with this guy named Imran, who I absolutely loved, and we would work like the two stations next to each other, and he was like a primary care physician, and I was always like, so like on a day to day, like what kind of extra vitamins should I be taking, and like should I be taking anything differently than my husband? And he
I
was
mean, they
always
must be
so
used to
nice.
it.
Yeah,
They must
surely they're
it
used
must
to
be
it.
it must come with the territory, you know?
Yeah. So, and then speaking of being robbed, Walter is pissed because he hired a Santa Claus for his company for the Christmas party, and the Santa Claus robbed them. And on top of that, he's just pissed off because of inflation. Very
Like on
relatable.
the Golden Girls, which in the 1970s, I mean, that this period of 70s, inflation was through the roof. I mean, in just a couple of years, Carter administration, there'd be lines for gas.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm very excited for you to like dive into when we start talking about when everybody talks about like what their favorite year was, for you to dive in
Mhm.
with like your history nerd hat. I was like, I'm not
Okay, I'm
doing any
ready.
research. I'm going to leave that up to you.
I'm ready.
Um,
I'm ready.
at one point, we even get a classic Bea Arthur enunciation when she asks
Mhm.
Vivian if she'll come down the stairs dressed like a baby wearing a giant diaper.
Diaper.
Diaper. Because I forgot. I was like, oh
Diaper.
yeah, New Year's Eve. Wasn't there like imagery? There's like imagery of like a baby for is there like the correlation between babies, a baby and New
I don't
Year's Eve, like
know.
Cupid?
I don't know
I
that.
don't know. I still have pregnancy brain. Nothing is.
But I mean, Rue McClanahan, when we get to that part, her in this baby costume is so adorable.
I
I
know.
have I
Yeah,
mean, I hope she kept it. I hope she also had in her contract keeping the clothes from Maude. Probably not, but
maybe. I mean, it's the type of costume where like she could wear it to a party, but it would be very inappropriate for her to wear that to like the way you would wear like a sexy nurse's uniform, when you're
inappropriate
getting naughty.
in a fun way?
No, inappropriate in like a gross way. I
I
don't
don't think
know.
so. I think you could spin it in a different way. You know what I
You
mean?
think
It's Rue
so? It's not
McClanahan. She'd find a way.
it's not weird for a grown woman to be like, "I'm a little
I mean,
baby.
yeah, but
Do you want to
I
spank me?" Like, if a
do you know
guy's
how many adult films are based around exactly what you just said?
is it I don't know. Is it problematic?
That's another conversation. I don't know. I'm just saying the world we live in with the tones of some of these adult projects. Like, this is not an unfamiliar theme that Rue
Okay.
McClanahan is doing here.
I don't know. Anybody that's like, "Oh, I get turned on when someone dresses like an like a baby or like a toddler." I don't
Let me
know.
just tell you a
Maybe
story.
it's
Let
the
me tell you a
mom in
story.
me.
Let me tell you a little story. The first porn film I ever saw in my life, I didn't know, it was by accident. It was by accident. I was a child. It's my father's film. This is going to say a lot about my father. And just let me just say before I get into this story that I didn't have a relationship with my father and he was a bad person. Anyway, so I find this VHS cassette, and what does it say? It says Annie. And so I'm like, oh, I love Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow. I'm ready to sing. Let's put this in. Pop it in. Guess what? It was a very adult version of Annie. And the sun did come out tomorrow, but the sun was seen from a different angle, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
And I
Mm-mm.
could not watch it. But at the same time, it's a very weird memory for me. And so I'm just saying, I say this story to tell you they will make it work in whatever way they need to make it work.
Ugh, that just grosses me
The
out.
sun'll come out. Can't afford it.
Can't afford it. And also, yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. So, even though everybody is in a bad mood and no one likes New Year's Eve
Yes.
parties, Maude is
Yes.
convinced that she's going to get everybody in a good mood by elevating the party in a way that everyone will love. And I want to play this moment where she announces how she's going to elevate the party, because this is where she's really giving me like giddy Dorothy Zbornak.
Kids, I have the world's greatest New Year's Eve party idea. I mean, it is absolutely fabulous. You want to know what it is? Come on, beg me. Beg me, beg me, beg me. Enough begging, I'll tell you. But I must swear you all to secrecy. I don't want any of the other guests to hear about this. This is something... Are you ready? Are you ready? A scavenger hunt.
What?
A scavenger hunt. No one has had one in years. It is a lost art. Oh, I've hidden little gifties all over the house. Oh.
Scavenger hunts are fun.
You see. Even Vivian says they're a lot of fun. Ooh.
Oh, I've had little gifties around the house.
Little
That hurt my
gifties.
throat.
She literally jumps up and down like when the women find out they won tickets to Mr. Burt Reynolds at the dinner theater,
I
like to meet
mean,
him.
it is wild to see Bea Arthur like this, and I love it.
I love it. She is so giddy. The little gifties.
So giddy. The little gifties.
The gifties. Well, let me ask you, would a scavenger hunt elevate a party for you, or would you find it annoying?
God, no, I fucking hate a scavenger hunt. I hate any like hide and seek situation. I hate a maze situation. I hate a escape room situation. I hate all of those things. Like, just give me a table with a nice glass of wine and maybe some fries with mayonnaise, and I'm good to go. Go have fun, kids. I'll be right here. Come to me when you're done playing.
I would partake depending on what the big gifty is, right? So if like the big
If it's
gifty,
money now.
and we never learn what the big gifty is, but if the big gifty were like $100 gift card to World Market, anything from World Market, if it was something nice, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get in on this because I like presents.
I almost got mugged at World Market, or like robbed at World Market recently. Did I tell you this?
What happened?
I'll show you. I was in one of the aisles and I got in a weird situation. It involves my bag. And the reason why I'm showing, you can watch on YouTube or Patreon, but I was in one of the aisles, just sort of browsing as I do. And I noticed like a man and a woman, and I think someone else, it was crowded, but everyone was kind of near me. And a man like bumped into me, and then the woman came up and sort of like distracted me too, but no one was they weren't necessarily acting weird, but it was a weird situation. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I just thought like, oh, I bumped into weird people, and I moved into a different part of the room. And then I got to the registers to buy the biscuits that I was buying. And I noticed that the bottom part of my bag was like complete, and I would never walk around with this unzipped. I don't need it. I don't need it unzipped. But it was completely unzipped. And this is all just like shit down here. It's like my gum and stuff. But like the zipper is like on the bottom of my bag. Clearly, I think they thought that's where my wallet was. I
Yeah,
think they were
yeah.
trying to like get into my wallet situation, and they realized they unzipped the wrong part of my
They were
bag.
trying to do a little
But
grift like that guy and the nun at the
yeah,
mall with Blanche and
yeah,
Sophia.
yes,
Oof.
yes. But they
Yeah.
didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Oh, yeah. They were like, ugh, orbit gum, moving on. But
I
of
know.
course, like here's the
Everyone
thing.
chews Trident these days.
You have very nice bags. You have
I
glowing
do.
skin. You look like
Mhm.
someone who may be carrying a bit of cash on you.
Yeah, and I get paid in cash a lot of the time. So yes,
Yeah.
I am often carrying cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I
I'm
shouldn't
glad
announce
that they
that
didn't
probably.
take anything. I'm glad they didn't get
Yeah,
anything.
no. No.
So Maude's excitement quickly
Mhm.
turns to panic when she learns that coincidentally, another couple in town, the Martins, they actually had a party last night at their house with a scavenger hunt, and
Mm.
Maude unravels in this
Yeah,
moment.
I would too. Because if all the people that are coming to your party went to another party with the scavenger hunt, what's special about your party?
Exactly, because she keeps saying like nobody's done a scavenger hunt in a while. Like this is going to be so great.
Mhm.
She thinks she's going to be the laughing stock of the entire town. I feel so bad. You guys have to watch this episode because she just like
It is so
loses her
good.
mind and goes on this like
Yeah,
monologue, like rant about like, oh, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened.
it is
So
so good though.
luckily her husband, Walter, gives her a new idea unintentionally. He reminds her that, like, look, he's like, 1974 was a year that sucked. Like, why should
It
we
was.
celebrate when there have been so many better years in the past? And this gives
Mhm.
Maud an idea. She's like, okay, I'm going to roll with this. If 1974 sucked, then here's what we're going to do for the party. We'll each pick our favorite year, whatever year makes us feel happy and nostalgic. We're going to come to the party dressed as that year, which I actually think is kind of fun because, like, some
I think
people
it's a
you could like
great
dress as
idea.
a specific decade, but to come as a
Mhm.
specific year, that means you get to come as like a pop culture event or like a character from a movie that came out that year. I actually think that's like a really, really cool idea.
I mean, 1974, probably the biggest it was a shit year. It was a shit year on a lot of levels. I mean, for, many reasons, but primarily the Vietnam War was over at that point. Although the remnants of it and the people coming back from the war was a big part of the cultural conversation. But the biggest thing that is happening during this moment, which is wild, just a few months before these characters are existing in New Year's, Richard Nixon resigned. So
Hmm.
you currently have a president that was not elected
Hmm.
ever, or vice president that was ever elected as the president. And so like the country is in a weird place, in a
Yeah.
very weird place during this moment. So it makes sense that they would choose to celebrate a different year because clearly 1974 sucked.
If you could pick a year and come
Mm,
dressed as something to a New Year's Eve party, let's
mm,
say it's not optional, you just have to do it. Do you know what
yeah.
year you might pick and what you might dress up as?
You know, I I do have my heart goes to the 1980s primarily because of the clothes. I love the clothes and the fashion and sort of the vibe of the 1980s. Like there's something about it. Um and it depends. Like if I'm in drag, I want to be in the 1950s. But if I'm just me casual, I want to be in the 1980s. So I would choose 1987. It wasn't necessarily like the best year, but Fatal Attraction and Moonstruck came out that year, and I think it would be a great year for me.
Okay, so you would dress as either Glenn Close or Cher.
Or both.
I love that. Do like a splitsies down the middle or a costume
Yeah,
change, wardrobe change.
yeah. It's not a hard costume change. I mean, one would be a
No,
white dress with blood all over it, and then I'd put a trench coat or a black coat over it, and I'd smack people and say, "Snap out of it!"
that would be
That's from
great.
Moonstruck.
That
Yeah.
would be great. I love both of those
Yeah.
costumes.
What about you? What about you?
Um, my two best years, and this is just like career wise. Also, Stan and I got engaged. Stan and I got married. So I would either
Oh, yeah.
choose 2018 in which case I'd probably come. So that was the year that Frances McDormand won an Oscar for Three Billboards. So I'd maybe dress as her, like when she was giving her acceptance speech.
And when she does that thing where she's like, ha, ha, ha. Do you remember that?
I don't.
She had the weirdest laugh where she was holding her Oscar and she was like laughing. People were applauding and then she was laughing at herself, but her laugh was so strange. Please YouTube this. Her laugh was so strange that she was just like, well,
now I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yes.
So 2018, that was when Stan and I got engaged. 2019 was when we got married. That was also the year that Cats came out. So if I were going to choose 2019, I would dress like Blanche and Rose dressed up for Cats, except I would make sure that my costume had a very prominent butthole, just like the early edits of Cats did. And then they had to go in and see, like, digitally remove all the buttholes. That's what I would choose.
So funny.
I also feel kind of bad because, like, so Maude tells Carol to call all the other guests and, like, let them know. And if I were one of those guests, if it's like New Year's Eve, a few hours before a party, and it's like, oh, you have to put together a wildly specific outfit in a few hours, I would actually be like, I'd be pretty pissed.
I'd be annoyed.
I'd be very, very annoyed.
I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed. Well, before we get to this party, we should take a break because party, there's something that happens. And okay, I have to preface this by saying that you're going to want to watch this segment of Out on the Lanai. This next segment,
this next clip is wild.
Okay, so we'll be right back.
So the party has started. Everyone is all dressed up. We're finally getting the reveal of the year that everyone chose, the costumes that we're wearing, and we have to jump right in for this clip of Vivian revealing her costume because, like we said, who doesn't want to see Rue McClanahan dressed like a baby?
Like a baby,
like a toddler,
like a Shirley Temple,
like a child, a child.
Yes. Should I play the clip?
Yes, let's play the clip.
Hello, my name is Vivian, and I'm only 5 years old.
Then you shouldn't be drinking.
I mean, the costume is good. Her voice is good.
It's a good costume.
She looks
Her voice is good. She's got like the giant lollipop.
But what's what?
Oh, I was going to say what's funny is that later she mentions that the reason she dressed that way is because her favorite year was when she was 5 years old and her daddy loved her. But much like Blanche Devereaux, she doesn't disclose what year that was. So we don't know how old she was when she was 5. She never says the year. I was like, oh, that feels like a very Blanche Devereaux thing retracted by the government.
Well, and of course, the next moment that happens is her getting hit on by one of the dudes and then her basically leaning into it, being like, I'm not going to say it, but you want to take advantage of me or what? She said something else. You have to watch the episode. You can watch it on Pluto or whatever, but I didn't like it either. But like, it's cringe. It is cringe, but it also is very Blanche coded.
Yes. Didn't love it. But if you think Vivian made an entrance with her costume, you're literally backing up in your seat because you are so excited for this.
Bea Arthur, this is the moment that we see more of Bea Arthur than you will ever see of Bea Arthur in any research you ever do. I mean, her arms are out, her boobs are out, her legs are out, everything. She's in a nice little like nightie. She's doing a striptease. I mean, it is Bea Arthur like you've never seen her before. So let me just say, if you are listening to this, we're going to play a small clip of it, but we'll play the full clip of the song. I think it'll be fine on YouTube. We'll play the full clip of the song on YouTube because it's just stripper music. Like, it's not like a song. But go watch this moment either on Patreon or YouTube or just watch this episode with Bea Arthur of Maude because it is just...
I think I watched it on
Pluto.
Maybe I watched it on like Paramount Plus, I think is how I watched it.
Oh, I watched it on Pluto. I didn't because that's
Okay.
what it showed up for me. But it's
Sure. There
available
are
out
ways to
there. I mean,
watch it.
it's yeah, and it is worth a watch. Should we play the clip?
Yes, please.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for us to present to you the star of her 1945 college freshman review, the brunette bombshell.
The long-stemmed American beauty, Gypsy Rose Findlay.
So, okay, wild. Wild, 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 wild. And she is referencing the musical Gypsy, which Bea Arthur did not star in on Broadway, but of Gypsy Rose Lee, who did a striptease, similar concept, but different because of Bea Arthur. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the
It
fact
is. There's so much
I mean,
sex appeal happening.
if you're watching it, you watched it. But like for listeners only listening, at the end, she's by the kitchen door and she puts the hat, this large hat that she had over her head, obviously. She puts it over her chest and she starts to undo what I believe is her bra. And she just yanks it out, number's done, she goes into the kitchen. And that's the number.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
It
It's a
is
beautiful
and when I want
striptease.
to play, I pulled one other clip because I loved the joke after she came out. So like everyone goes crazy, they're applauding, whatever, and then she puts on a little coat, a little robe to make herself more appropriate for the party. And Maude comes out and has a really funny joke here that I want to play. So one second.
Sure.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. It brought the house.
Of course, when I did it originally, I got 6 curtain calls. Ah, the entire Sigma Chi fraternity rose as one man and chased me across campus. I let 2 of them catch me.
I just love Bea Arthur being slutty.
It felt like that's such a Blanche joke.
It's such a Blanche joke, but what is so interesting about the writing, I think, on Maude versus the kind of character she played on the Golden Girls is that oftentimes, and this also might speak to why we know Bea Arthur didn't necessarily love some of the jokes at her expense on the Golden Girls, the tall jokes, the masculine jokes, those things. And whereas, because on Maude, she was very clearly, I mean, she was the star of the show, but also no one was really making fun of her size or anything like that. I mean, she would do stuff to herself, but no, she was seen as a full woman. I mean, a full woman on Maude. And so it's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch her say jokes like that she basically slept with 2 dudes, after a performance like that. Like you didn't hear things like that on
her
the Golden
looks,
Girls.
her sexuality, her body, nothing was the butt of a joke in this episode, which was very
in this episode,
in this episode, which was nice. It was very refreshing. So she is dressed from her college years doing Gypsy. The others are dressed differently. Carol came as the year 1961 when she was kind of like a teeny bopper wearing like a leather jacket, really into her music. Arthur came as 1952, the Republican convention. He's wearing an Eisenhower hat. Walter dressed as 1942. He's wearing his World War II uniform. I was like, really? War was the best year of your life? But okay, Walter.
I mean, but that does, go ahead. And I want to say something after the years.
No, please.
What's interesting about this group of people, and I'm giving a historical context here. What's
Yes,
interesting
this is what
about
I
these
wanted.
group of people and the years that they chose, I think is so fascinating. And this is sort of what fascinates me about politics during this period. So like, in the night from 1932 until 1952, Democrats controlled the House. It was FDR, Harry Truman. And the country was it literally coming back from the Great Depression to where we were in 1952, and then it ushered in this Republican era. But what's interesting is these people are choosing, and you can tell the different types of characters they are based on the years they're choosing, because him choosing 1952, the Republican wave, that also ushered in this sort of wave of, I mean, Lyndon Johnson. I mean, he had been in the Senate before that, but John F. Kennedy went into the Senate that year. Richard Nixon went into the vice presidency that year. And what's so interesting about that period is that like these men would define the next 25 years of American politics, and it was all happening around this period. And so like you see, like there's this conversation between him choosing 1952, the Republican convention, and being like, and Maude being like, why would you choose that? We had this, we had that. And clearly she is a Roosevelt Democrat, and so she would think that 1945 was a great year because we won the war. Why he chose 1945 is because we won the war. And so you had the big parade and the nurses and the kissing and the streets and all the things. And so
But
it's
he chose
fascinating. It's
42,
fascinating.
so we weren't
Yeah,
even out of the
42
war
where
yet.
we were going into the war. We were going
Mhm.
into
Yeah.
because that's when, right after Pearl Harbor, I think. So yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting, the years that they chose.
Yeah, thank you for the historical context. I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then this was one of my favorite surprises of the episode. So two of Maud's friends show up. It's a couple, they're bickering. They leave the party and they dump their 95-year-old Aunt Polly off at the party. Aunt Polly, what she
Is
adds
so
the
good.
Sophia energy to this party.
Yes.
She is like everybody's treating her like she's like unconscious, and she'll just like pipe
Mhm.
up with like these like just like sarcastic quotes, or she'll just dig into people. It's so funny. Um
It's so
when
good.
when she first walks in, Carol very genuinely and sweetly approaches her with a plate of food and goes, "Polly, want a cracker?" And Maude just chucks Polly's jacket in Carol's face, which made me laugh. And then Polly just goes over to
Yeah.
the couch and passes out, which I also thought was very, very funny. Um,
It's
and then
so
there's a moment
good.
where Maude, it's like it feels like a pre-Golden Girls reference, but um once Aunt Polly passes out at the couch, Maude goes, "Carol, every once in a while hold a spoon under Aunt Polly's mouth to see if she's still breathing, just like Sophia
I
used to do
mean,
with Sophia in the mirror. If it fogs up, I put on the coffee."
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So
It's so
it's
good.
so good. The party's going great until
Mhm.
everyone, like kind of what you've been doing, they start pointing out the bad things that happened in all
Yeah.
the years that everyone's representing. Like, Vivian points out that, well, 1945 was actually a really bad year for you, Maude, because you had bad acne. It was the year you met your first husband, who's like basically Stan. Maude points out that
Mhm.
Carol's dressed as 1961, which was the year that she divorced, her dad. They're all fighting. And it's
Yeah.
interrupted by Aunt Polly coming alive off the couch and blowing a noisemaker really, really
Yeah.
loudly. And like what's really nice is this like sarcastic older woman that was dumped at the party. She
Who
actually
puts it
gives
all
the
in perspective.
speech. What's that? She puts it all
Yeah.
into perspective, exactly. She gives a
Yeah.
speech that I absolutely love. She proposes a toast. She points out that no matter what happened in the past, it doesn't matter. What happens in the future, it doesn't matter. We should be living in the now. And like that is such a great,
Mhm.
like you said, puts everything into perspective.
And you only get that from someone who's lived a life, who understands that,
Mhm.
yeah, things happen in the things, but like all those things make up the person you are in this moment. So maybe be happy in this moment with the people you're with, which I think is like the perfect message for New Year's.
The perfect message. And yeah, it's great. And so everybody's kind of taking that in, and then the ball drops, and then I love it. Polly's like, "Happy 1875." And they're like, "No, it's 1975."
That's what
But
always blows me away about like moments like this when there are older people in things like this.
mhm.
This woman was most likely, I'm assuming, I don't know how old she is, but like I'm assuming she was quite literally born
I
in the
think
late
she's 95. So she
1800s.
was born in like 1880.
1880.
Yeah.
1880. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? Like
It's
when I was a
crazy.
kid, my grandpa was born in 1910, and that always blew me away. That because he was older too. He was older than my grandma. So like he was old when I was a kid. Like he was really old when I was a kid. And but it blew me away that like someone would be around that was born in 1910. So like to watch a show and to see a woman who was born in 1880,
Yeah, a woman
like
who was like around for the Industrial Revolution.
for when cars started. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even, that is wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
watch The
it's
Gilded
wild.
Age and I see like kids characters and stuff and I think like, "Oh my god, to be a little kid in that era, but to be a kid going from like 18, let's say 85 to 1910, like the amount of shit you saw that would go on to define the 20th century, like that's wild."
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
Yeah.
I love, instead of saying Happy New Year, when the ball drops, they all say Happy Now, which I think like I feel like
Yeah,
that's like a
that's
nice
sweet.
sweet tradition that I hope they kind of carried on in the years following.
Mhm.
But that's pretty much the
Yeah.
episode. Like we said, it's so simple, it's
There's
so
a callback at
character
the end
driven.
where the old lady becomes kinda slutty. She basically flirts with, Maude's husband.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
I
which
don't
is
remember that
my
moment,
future.
but
Like, I'm in the moment. We're recording this, on November 28th, so I'm binging all of the seasons of Stranger Things so I can catch up with what the world's talking about right now, which is Stranger Things, the final season,
had you never
and
seen them
there's
before?
a woman. I'd only seen season 1 and then I stopped
Oh, okay.
watching because I was like, "Meh, I'm done." It's too much, and then I'm like, "Okay, I need to get into it." So, and I figured holiday weekend, it's a perfect time just to binge it all. Anyway, there's a woman in it who is Mike's mom, and she's kind of like a cougar, and I was texting with a friend being like, because she's the one who, like, flirts with the kid or whatever, like, like she's a cougar, and she's very basically like the hot Jennifer Coolidge of the show, and I literally was thinking like, "Oh my god, that is actually me." Like, that's probably my future. I'm like I think I am that old lady in this episode who's flirting with someone's husband at the end. Like, I think that is my destiny.
Well, there, you've put it out there into the world, so I feel like now it's just gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good episode. I'm glad we watched
It's a
this. This is
great
a great New
episode.
Year's
Highly,
episode.
highly recommend, and thank you, Bastian from Germany. How
Thank
do you
you,
say thank
Bastian.
you? How do you say thank you in German?
Danke.
Oh yeah, danke.
Danke. Danke, Bastian.
Danke. Auf Wiedersehen. Well, we're not saying goodbye yet. We will
Auf
say goodbye soon.
Wiedersehen.
All
Okay,
right. Should
we'll be
we
right back.
take, yeah, let's do our golden takeaways.
And we are back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your lives or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, what is your golden takeaway from this episode?
I just want to echo what Polly said, which is like live in the now. I feel like sometimes it's really easy to kind of dwell on the past and wish that you could change things, do things differently. I feel like it's also easy to think too far ahead into the future and to worry about things that you have no control over. And I think that when that happens, we truly do miss out on living in the moment. So I just want to like
Mhm.
ask everybody, just maybe this year, this upcoming year, if that's something you find yourself doing, which I myself have been guilty of many, many times, to try to just slow down and live in the moment and appreciate the moment. And sometimes that means putting your phone on do not disturb and leaving it in the other room. There's something so fun about doing
Mhm.
that and being present.
There is, I mean, yeah, I think I agree. I had to tell a friend to do that. We were meeting for something and he just kept checking his phone. And I had to be like, "Hey, I'm busy, but I'm here at lunch with you. I need you to put your phone away." But I'm also that asshole who would say something like that.
I
My
would have said
golden
it too.
takeaway from this I mean, sometimes you have to. Like, you just have to say something. And you listen, if you're busy, great. We can reschedule this. Like, you don't have whatever. Anyway, my golden takeaway from this episode is I love a good strip tease. You know what I mean? I love a little moment where someone is just feeling like, and also I love an unexpected strip tease, like from someone you would not expect to do a strip tease. Like, yes, you see like a Brad Pitt walking into the room and you think to yourself, oh, I wish he does a strip tease. But like, you know, I see someone like, I don't know, who could be weird? Rick Moranis. And I want to see Rick Moranis try to do a strip tease.
That was such a pull. That was absolutely incredible. Like, yes, a striptease from Rick Moranis would be
how funny would that be?
Very unexpected. It would be very funny, very unexpected. You also just reminded me, I used to go see burlesque shows at the Slipper Room in New York City. Did you ever go to the Slipper Room?
I did. I performed at Slipper Room sometimes. Yeah.
And there was a guy who I went to college with who was from New Zealand, and we did something very naughty in the bathroom of the Slipper Room during a burlesque show.
God.
And I just remember that there was like a red light in the bathroom. So it felt like Stranger Things, like in the bathroom. It was just like a red bulb. But yeah, I remember doing something. Again, guys, this was my 20s.
Wait, was he a burlesque performer?
No.
Okay.
No, he was an amateur filmmaker. But we went to college together.
There's a great male.
He was my TA.
There's a great burlesque performer who's a friend of mine, stripper burlesque performer, Jake Dupree. And he's fantastic. If you Google him, he's probably one of the more recognizable burlesque performers. And so, yeah, he's a good one. Go support some burlesque.
Support burlesque. Support burlesque dancers.
Yes.
Get naughty in the bathroom.
We'll watch Lucy. That's from Burlesque, the movie with Cher.
Got it. Oh, with Cher and Christina Aguilera. Oh my gosh, guys, this has been another episode of Out on the Lanai. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back here next week with more Golden Girls greatness. And we've already talked about this, but January is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. We're pre-recording some episodes, hopefully for January, that I will be here for, but then I will be on maternity leave for probably some of January. So you may get a couple fun HAlan specials. But yeah, I will be thinking of everyone.
I apologize in advance.
Yep. They're here for it. They're here for it.
Yay. Guys, thanks for listening. We're a part of Mom, Moguls of Media, so you can go support Mom Plus wherever you do the Mommy Plus things. You can also support us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, Out on the Lanai Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook, and I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines on everything.
And I'm Squidsy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. Don't really post much. And if you guys want to do something else nice for the podcast, you can leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcast, because the more the people that leave the reviews, the more people discover us and join our lovely community of kick-ass fans.
Should we do Stay Golden in German?
Do you know how to do it in German?
I think it's Bleib golden. I don't know the word for golden, but bleib. Bleib golden. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, bleib. I think it's bleib or bleib. I think it's bleib. Okay, ready? And remember,
as always, bleib golden. Bastian, I hope we didn't offend
golden. You. We probably did, and that's okay.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.